over. You know, they up by 3. All they got to do is run out the clock or, God forbid, score and put them away, and they did neither. Atlanta got right back in field goal position. Atlanta's the comeback kings this year so far.
Right. Kirk Cousins is making my Kirk Cousins does nothing until the Kirk Cousins does nothing. But now I'm starting to have him call him the clutch kid because when it's crunch time, if you put him down by 3 with less than 2 minutes to go, I mean that's where he shines.
Kirk Cousins put up 500 passing yards. I had the double take on that.
Yeah, right.
But hey, they rolling. So yeah, you got a game out of that. You a game up on me. First game. Speaking of Kirk Cousins and Kirk Cousins affiliated people, Minnesota is hosting New York Jets, but they're not really hosting them. Game is in London, 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. Minnesota is giving 2.5 for this game. I'm not a firm believer in the New York Jets, and Minnesota has done nothing to get me to doubt them. So I'm on Minnesota on this game.
All the smart money says bet Minnesota. That's what all the smart money says. But you know what? I don't believe that Minnesota is gonna go 5-0. And even though Aaron Rodgers didn't look good the last game, he beefing with their coach.
He said everything is fine with him and Robert Saleh.
Of course he's gonna say that. I mean, coaches had their coach talk, players had their player talk, but we see what's happening in front of the cameras. But yeah, Breece Hall is not doing very well. Everything logically says that I should pick Minnesota, man. But it is Aaron Rodgers, and they're going to be in London, so both teams are going to be on a long flight. And I'm going to roll with the Jets. I don't even have any rhyme or reason for it, man. I just got a feeling that the Jets are going to win. Sometimes you just got to go with your hunch.
No, I'm not mad at it. This is, like you said, Breece Hall had a terrible game last game, so this will be a great you can't be more
comeback game.
Yeah, you can't be more on the road than London. So this would be a great opportunity for him to just get away and just have a crazy game. So I wouldn't be surprised at that, but I try my best to not rely on what ifs and could haves, and I try to look at who the best is. And right now, Minnesota is undefeated. So till they lose, I'm gonna ride with them. Next up, we got Indianapolis Colts going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is giving 3. I saw this and I said, Jacksonville is giving 3. That is crazy. And then I was like, oh, yeah. Anthony Richardson did get hurt last week. Joe Flacco. But I'm like, dang, still giving 3. But then I haven't checked, but they were saying Jonathan Taylor was trending towards not playing. So his backup was somebody, I don't know. I was trying to get him in fantasy, but I missed him. It was a bad moment. But no Jonathan Taylor, looks like no Anthony Richardson. And but at the same time, Jacksonville hasn't won a game yet. But surprisingly, maybe I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. While they haven't won the game, last week I thought they was gonna go out there and just roll over. And I saw some fight out of them. I think Doug Peterson's job is on the line after this game, with this game. And I think Indianapolis has one of the worst defenses in football. So once again, I'm gonna go back to maybe their defense is a cure for whatever's going on with the Jacksonville offense.
All I gotta say, man, is awful game. Neither team has given me any faith to pick them. But even with Jonathan Taylor gone, Anthony Richardson gone, um, Indianapolis is giving me more to look at than Jacksonville. While Jacksonville has looked like, I'm not going to say bad, I'm going to say they look like they don't know how to win a game. You know what I'm saying? They just, I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville right now, but Indianapolis has showed me that they have something. Jacksonville hasn't shown me that they have anything. There's no desire to win out of Jacksonville, so I'm gonna roll with Indianapolis. Indianapolis seems to be a better team with Joe Flacco behind the helm anyway, until they can find a way to get Anthony Richardson's head together. I don't know, maybe he needs to go and sit in the film room a little bit longer, but yeah, man, I'm gonna roll with Indianapolis.
All right. Buffalo going to Houston. Houston giving 1.5. I am surprised that Houston aren't putting up as many numbers as I thought they would. They started the season off hot. Your point was that they're still waiting on Joe Mixon to get back. And to that point, last I checked, he still isn't practicing. So Buffalo got smacked last week in Baltimore. I think they bounced back this week. I'm taking Buffalo with the 1.5.
Yeah, you said it all, man. I'm with you. Joe Mixon isn't playing until they get Joe Mixon back. I ain't gonna say I don't have no faith in Houston, but yeah. I mean, I don't know how to phrase it otherwise. They really missing Joe Mixon, so yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm going Buffalo as well.
All right, Baltimore is going to Cincinnati. Baltimore coming off of a big win over Buffalo. They looked real good, but you can't sleep on the fact that Cincinnati also came off of a win last week. They are at home getting points. I wish it was a full 3. I feel more comfortable with that. Oh, man. Because it's not a full 3. Oh man, I got to go Baltimore. I had all intentions of going with Cincinnati, but like I said, if it was a full 3, I would take Cincinnati. But that 2.5, I can't do nothing with that.
Yeah, once again, man, I'm with you. Both Baltimore and Cincinnati have been disappointing this year, but Cincinnati has been disappointing and losing, whereas Baltimore has been disappointing and winning. I mean, not all their games, but they've been disappointing. But they've won a few more games than they've been a little bit more successful than Cincinnati. So I'm gonna roll with this with Baltimore. Plus, the more Baltimore plays, the more they're looking like the team that we thought they would be at the beginning of the season.
All right. Next, we got Cleveland going to Washington. Washington is given 3. Washington has been on fire lately. Their streak of not punting ended last week. They also are going to be, last I checked, they're going to be without their starting running back. They still got Austin Eckler, who I even felt like they needed to use Austin Eckler a little bit more. I mean, they were doing fine, so it didn't really matter. But now they're if Brian Robinson Jr. doesn't play, they're gonna need to rely on Austin Eckler more. All that being said, Cleveland is a coin flip, man. You never really know who's gonna show up. But I was watching the game last week, and they showed Jim Schwartz on their sideline. He's defensive coordinator now for Cleveland. I always like Jim Schwartz, but I think he's going to be able to cook up something for Jaden Daniels. You still got you still got Myles Garrett on that defensive line. So I think they're going to put a lot of focus in slowing down this Washington team. And like I said, they're gonna be without arguably their best running back. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them 3 points with Cleveland.
I got a simple analysis with this one. Cleveland has been abysmal. Washington has been red hot. I wouldn't dare bet against them. Give me Washington.
Yeah, I can see myself regretting this. All right, you want to talk about ugly games? Miami is going to New England. New England. This is so bad. New England is. Oh, they're not favorite. Okay, New England is giving 1 point. Is getting 1 point at home. Miami looked god awful last week. New England looked god awful last week. When you got two god awful teams, I'm gonna go with Miami because there's no way Miami could look as bad as they did last week again. There is a way that New England could look as bad as they did last week again. So I gotta go with Miami.
Man, I don't think there is a right answer to this problem right here. I literally feel like I could flip a coin and whatever the coin landed on, it'd be the right pick. But I'll be different. You pick Miami. I'll go New England. Am I confident in that pick? Who knows?
Carolina is going to Chicago. Carolina lost last week, but they put up a fight. Chicago won last week. They're giving 4 points. That's like giving 10. That's like giving, that's like asking them to cover 10 in my mind. Their offense still isn't clicking. It took them all game to finally get a touchdown pass to DJ Moore. Carolina still isn't good, but 4 points, I could live with 4 points. I'm gonna take Carolina.
So my cousin is, I'm in Charlotte now, so my cousin is a diehard Carolina fan, and I went to him and I said, "Man, I want to pick Carolina this week. Give me a reason that they can beat the Bears." You know what I'm saying? Even though they lost last week, I think y'all can beat the Bears. Give me a reason.
Xavier Legette.
He said he said a bunch of stuff that didn't culminate into nothing that was really important. I was like, with the Bears defense, I'm not sure that Carolina can beat the Bears. But just now, when you said that they were giving 4 points, that was the push I needed to push me over the line. And I am going to pick North Carolina to beat the Bears because the Bears couldn't throw. They couldn't throw in the daylight with the sun on. They cannot find the pass, man. So that 4 points is what I need. I'm gonna go Carolina, man.
Watching highlights of these rookies during the draft. I was watching some Xavier Legette, and I thought he was a pretty good player. And then I heard that guy talk, and I was like, "Wow, this guy has potential to be one of my favorite players." So I'm kind of rooting for Xavier Legette. He found the end zone last week, had a good week, so I think he could carry that on.
I wanted the Lions to get Xavier Legette. That's why I know who he is, and he was one of my receivers. Like if they had to pick a receiver, it was between him and Keon Coleman. I really wanted Keon Coleman, but he was my backup, and the Lions said, "Fuck that, we're not going with either one of them."
Yeah, they got a room full of receivers that are just okay. Arizona is going to San Francisco. San Francisco's giving 7. I feel like every week San Francisco is giving a crazy number, and every week I pick San Francisco, and every week or the following week, I'm always like, see, good thing you picked San Francisco. Give me San Francisco.
Oh man. Do you know this Debo playing?
He played last week.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Arizona started off hot, man. You know what I'm saying? But within the last couple of weeks, it feels like they've reverted to the same old Arizona that they've been the past couple of years. They're not a bad team, but are they a good team? That would be a little aggressive. Can't really say that. And even though San Francisco is giving 7, I don't see them covering. San Francisco takes this game, even without Christian McCaffrey still there. They got Debo back. George Kittle and Debo will be too much with them, along with Ayuk, and they got this. San Francisco all the way.
Oh, this is a tough game. Las Vegas is going to Denver. Denver's given 3. I've recently slowly I've just been moving stuff, a box at a time onto the Denver Broncos bandwagon. I got like 4 or 5 of my boxes on their bandwagon right now. On the flip side, the Raiders are going through a lot right now. But despite all of that, they found a way to beat Cleveland, or Cleveland found a way to beat themselves, tomato, what chicken or the egg. This is a tough game because against anybody else, I might pick these teams, but now I got to pick between the 2 of them. Give me Denver, simply because they're at home and their defense has been playing well, and I don't know the status of Max Crosby. I really want to pick the Raiders, though. Denver -3. That's a field goal. I'm going to stay with Denver.
Yeah, man. It might not be a whole lot of separation in our picks this week because I'm also going to roll with Denver. I've been picking against Denver the last couple of weeks, and they've burned me every time. I egregiously underrated Denver, and I've learned my lesson from doing that. Plus, a Las Vegas win against Cleveland does not impress me like at all. It doesn't move the needle at all. Even though they won last week without Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, there is a lot of turmoil and drama going on in Las Vegas right now. And Denver is rolling, man. Can't deny that. So I am going with Denver.
All right. New York Giants.
The Seahawks.
You said what?
The Seahawks.
New York Giants are at Seattle. Seattle coming off of this loss to the Lions. Their defense was banged up last week. I was thinking about picking up their defense in fantasy, so I looked it up, and their defense is still going to be banged up. They might get like 1 or 2 guys back, but like you said, they're going against the Giants. Oh, I saw Malik Neighbors. I think he missed practice going through concussion protocol, so they might be without Malik Neighbors. Yeah, like you said, you got to go with the Seahawks, no matter what that number is.
The Giants, I mean, I can't do it, man. It's nothing. It's not a bone in my body that will let me root for. That will let me pick the Giants against anyone, especially the Seahawks. That was a great game that they played last week against a even though banged up Lions defense as well. But that was a great offensive game, and the Giants are just not good.
I've told you before, man. The Giants are my least favorite team in the NFL, and it's not even because like usually like usually you hate a team because they're so good and their fan base is annoying and they always win, or you feel like the referees, all of that. That's why you usually hate a team. But no, I hate the Giants because they're just like an embarrassment almost at this point. They're so the thing they're best at is they're good at finding talent, but like big name talent, like Malik Neighbors, Saquon Barkley. You want to go back to Odell Beckham Jr. Like they know how to find these exciting players, but they never do anything to put a team together. Every year we hear about how they address the offensive line, and every year their offensive line is terrible. They always have like one or two great players on defense, and then the rest of their defense is just a bunch of scrubs. Like they have no idea. Like they're probably the most inept organization in football right now, second only to Carolina. I'm sorry, Carolina people, but second only to the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, the Giants have been a bane of my existence for quite some time now, and and then you pay Daniel Jones. Like they deserve to be bad. So yeah.
Dog, it's like when I see the Giants on, dog, I get so depressed. Like really, the Giants. It's like the game last week. The Cowboys versus the Giants. I was like, ooh, that's not a good one. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew they're from kickoff. I was like, the Cowboys are gonna win this game. There was no doubt in my mind. The Giants tried to put up a fight, but it's like trying to drown a baby. I mean, it's like the baby can struggle as much as they want to, but they're not going to win that fight.
No follow-up is needed. The Green Bay Packers are going to the LA Rams. Rams are getting 3 at home. Oh man, Green Bay came out last week and lost. They put up a hell of a fight to finish the game off. The Rams are like an old man. The Rams are like Mr. Glass from Unbreakable. Like it don't take much, and next thing you know, they done broke another bone, another piece goes down. But the Rams just keep on fighting. I mean, they're getting 3 at home. Green Bay and LA is always a fun matchup. Again, this is one of those games where, hey, I'm gonna make a guess who's gonna win here, but honestly, you should just take the over because this will be a high-scoring game. Green Bay -3, Rams getting 3. No change on the injury front. Yeah, I hate to do it, man, but I got to take Green Bay.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I don't know. The games this week seem like a layup. All the games seem pretty much self-explanatory, but the NFL has been crazy this year, so you know what I'm saying? We might be wrong on all fronts, but I gotta be with you on Green Bay. The Rams have no one, man. The Rams, like you stated last week, it's not like they got a strong defense. They're down Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Stafford really has no one to throw it to. If they had those two guys back in their lineup, then I would choose the Rams. But Jordan Love should be back on his ding this game. He should have shaken off all the rust. The Packers have a really good defense. They have all those young receivers, even though I heard that Christian Watson got hurt. But even still, they should handle the Rams easily. I say Green Bay blows out the Rams this weekend.
Next we got Dallas going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh giving 2.5. Mike Tomlin lost last week. So I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to take this opportunity, one of the rare opportunities. Mike Tomlin is vulnerable right now. So I'm gonna say that this is a game that Dallas goes in there, Dallas wins, and this is one of those games where people, ESPN the next day, Stephen A. Smith and company. Well, not Stephen A. Smith because he hates Dallas, and not Skip Bayless because he's not on TV anymore. But but you know those people like them go out and they say, "Hey, is Dallas back?" And you know it's gonna. I say it's gonna be a pretty good win for Dallas. And then at the end of the year, we're gonna look and we're gonna see that in the long run, Dallas went in there and beat like a 500 team that Pittsburgh ends up being at the end of the season. So I think this is a spot for Dallas to get a victory.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you, man. I felt like Dallas wasn't gonna be as good as they were in years past. And the first game of the season, they came out and they proved my point. They totally destroyed my point. First game of the season, and they destroyed Cleveland. And I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong. And then the 2 weeks following that, they came out and proved they was exactly who I thought they were. And Cleveland turned out to be a sham of a team anyway. So it was like, oh, that's why they won that game. And then everybody came out last weekend like, I have an answer to your question. Dallas is back. But then you're like, well, who did they beat last week? And it's the Giants. No one cares about the Giants. That doesn't move the needle for me at all. Dallas is not good. Dallas is not going to be good this year. I know that's not a popular opinion amongst the millions and millions of Dallas fans across the country, but you never bet against Mike Tomlin. Dallas is going to lose this game, and the drama and the turmoil in Dallas is going to continue. People are going to be arguing and crying at the end of the game. Pittsburgh takes this game easily.
Yeah, I think last thing about that, I think Justin Fields gets a start. I think he has a rough game. Even if you don't have a rough game, I think they lose the game. And then now that opens the door for you to go ahead and go with your original plan, put Russell Wilson in, and then Russell Wilson's going to play a couple weeks, and he's going to look terrible. And then they're going to go back to Justin Fields, and it's just going to be a disaster to finish the season, and they'll end up being 500 at the end of the year.
If at any point, barring him getting hurt, they take Justin Fields out of the lineup and put Russell Williams in, there would be the biggest mistake that Pittsburgh could ever make, and I will lose some of my faith in Mike Tomlin before I've done it.
Put your seatbelt on, man. New Orleans is going to Kansas City. Kansas City is giving 5.5. Oh, this is the Monday Night Football game. Still no word on Rashee Rice's injury. All we know is he has been placed on the IR, so he will not be available during this game. Kareem Hunt has been re-signed by the Chiefs. He played last week. He looked pretty good. On the flip side, though, New Orleans has a pretty respectable defense. I think KC is the best. KC is the best. Wait, KC is the worst. I don't know, but KC is 4-0 and they have not looked good. We'll just say that.
Right.
So, that being said, 5.5. I don't think they cover. I'm taking New Orleans.
So, yeah, man, I agree with you, man. KC has not looked good, man. They just find ways to win, and with that said, I should pick New Orleans because I honestly think New Orleans is going to win that game. But KC they just find ways to win. I don't know why. It's just something about them that they find ways to win. And I've picked New Orleans the last couple of weeks. They burn me. They're probably going to burn me again by winning this week, but I'm going to pick Kansas City. I'm going to pick Kansas City, man, and watch New Orleans come out and play amazing. But but yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Not mad at that pick. Like I said, man, I lived off of that last week. You know, if you ever go out on an island, it's always good to see that Patrick Mahomes is on that island, or it's always good to see Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers are on that island with you. So, you know, it's not a bad island to be on.
Yeah, man. With that said, I got you by one. With that said, I know I didn't.